A training regimen that topped his work for the MCU? The grueling 3-month shoot for Extraction pushed Chris Hemsworth to the limit. Hollywood is often seen as a lot of smoke and mirrors, nothing is real, and everything on the screen is some trick of the camera, or some skillful editing. No action star can actually do what we're seeing them do, right? Well, not exactly. The reality is, making movies isn't just creatively demanding, it's tough work physically as well. In the action genre, in which actors go to incredible lengths to appear legitimate and believable, every punch, kick, and one-liner has to be expertly choreographed and perfectly executed. And it's not easy. Just ask the star of Extraction, Chris Hemsworth. Director Sam Hargrave's thrill ride of a film hit Netflix back in 2020, and was met with plenty of excitement by audiences, who showed up to make it the streamer's biggest premiere to that point. Most of the discussion surrounding Extraction following its release centered on its explosive action, which made up the vast majority of the film. Hemsworth's black market mercenary character Tyler Rake is ruthless in beating his opponents to a pulp. Whether he has a gun or simply uses his hands, he turns out to be nigh unstoppable, giving the Thor actor a whole new action hero into which to sink his teeth. But he's not the only one who deserves credit for the fight scenes in Extraction. The commitment of everyone involved is something to be commended. Setting up such fast-paced and elaborate combat sequences is no small feat. As Chris Hemsworth admitted, training for such scenes was rigorous. Since the movie is largely just a series of action scenes, the actor had his work cut out for him. The old saying goes, practice makes perfect, and that's a phrase easily applied to Chris Hemsworth's training to become Tyler Rake. When revealing how intense the process was, he confessed to Netflix Film that the physical work was incredibly challenging. That said, he ultimately compared the process to memorizing lines of dialogue. The best strategy he found for learning his moves was simple repetition, going headfirst into the choreography over and over again until it became second nature.
Brain is a muscle, and that's a muscle, and that's a muscle, and they are all muscles, this is all muscle, so I am covered in brain.
With constant repetition, Hemsworth managed to familiarize himself with each step, weaving a seamless sequence of moves into well-paced and entertaining combat. Hemsworth noted that it was an intense process that never slowed down, saying, "Every day we were shooting one scene. We'd be rehearsing the next fight scene the following day." In other words, the Australian actor was pulling double duty every day to ensure the choreography was just right. But just because they were doing so much at once doesn't mean it was a quick process.
So I didn't really stop, and it was a 3-month shoot, and basically kind of running and sprinting and fighting the whole time.
Piggybacking from fight to fight is an intense feat, and it sounds like Hemsworth had a grueling time while shooting Extraction. But just how intense was that experience compared to other roles? Obviously, Chris Hemsworth was no stranger to starring in action movies before he got the leading role in Extraction. As a major player in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's been part of some of the 21st century's most popular and ambitious action-packed blockbusters. However, the actor had to step up his game for the Netflix thriller, telling news.com.au, "The whole thing was by far the most exhausting shoot I've ever been a part of." Going into the movie, Hemsworth was already familiar with Sam Hargrave through the director's previous stunt coordination work with Marvel. But even with that personal connection, the intensity of the Extraction shoot still took him by surprise. Despite all the challenges, Hemsworth was more than up to the task. Even better, he's set to reprise the role of Tyler Rake in a sequel, Extraction 2, which is set to premiere on Netflix in June 2023.